Oh, Lord have mercy. Security. We got a code black. Code black at the main gate.
Ruckus, what the hell is a code black?
There's some hungry-looking niggas at the front gate. What y'all doing here?
Yo, what's up? Welcome to another episode of Rogan and motherfucking Runescape with Lex Fridman. What's up? So, Lex is looking pretty sharp. He's got the suit. I don't know if you guys watched the video or just listened to the audio. He's got his black and white shirt. First of all, how about the fact that Lex Fridman is Russian and he speaks Russian on his podcast, perhaps for the first time in history. What a quinky dink, huh? So we start out this with, with him talking about, well, at least the first thing that was kind of interesting to me is they were talking about how Twitter would, you can get banned for life for dead naming someone, but you can post, porn videos and shit. And it's like Facebook, people post, gore videos and shit. But it's like if you, call someone, who was born as Charlie, but they want to change, to be Kelsey, and you call them Charlie on Twitter, you can get banned for life. You can get banned for life for that, but, what? Not for some of the other... Okay. So Joe was talking about how this chick, Megan Murphy, I don't know who she is, but posted on Twitter that a man will never be a woman, and she is a woman, and she got banned. What? That's crazy. 10 years of Rogan. Wow. I remember first watching these with my dad back in 2011 on Ustream, around the time where Charlie Sheen went crazy and was talking about smoking 3.5 gram rocks. Tiger's blood. Also on Ustream. It is really crazy. Just the amount of money that goes into student loan debt. I mean, $40,000 a year. $160,000 for a 4-year degree. You kidding me? And you can't default on that debt? You can't file bankruptcy? They garnish your wages? What about cheaper education? Joe was talking about all the money that we spend to go, overseas and stuff like that and have intervention with other countries, but yet the lack of money that's spent to fix, the inner cities of our own country, and how it's kind of like the same areas have been going through the same issues for generations and generations. And, this kind of goes to the source, the root problem, which is this money, essentially, the way that we function. It's through greed, it's through conflict, it's through debt, it's through exploitation. That's why the whole system needs to change in order for things to change. Because the whole system is, like I said, set up on exploitation, conflict, debt, fear, violence. This goes full circle to the healthcare system and why that is the way it is. And it goes full circle to exploitation, and that there's money in sickness and there's not money in cures. Going back to the whole greed thing and exploitation. You got to fix the source infection, the source of the infection, to fix the ailment. Joe was talking about redlining, which was where they wouldn't sell homes to black people. And that's just really crazy. I mean, that, just like he says, black people didn't really have, a lot of the time, the opportunity to pass down wealth generationally. So that's why, people here, Virginia or whatever, wherever you are, if they're oh, why don't people get over racism? It's or racism doesn't exist anymore. It's well, it's not always what's on the surface, someone might be very wealthy because their dad passed down a lump sum of money to them from their dad, whose grandpa's dad was a slave owner. Exploitation. Joe's talking about the level of responsibility he has now, and it's kind of wild if you really think about it. I mean, he does influence millions. Not only that, he's the #1 podcast on iTunes. They had to change the way that the ratings algorithm works on iTunes because he would be #1 all the time. consistently for weeks. When he would come out with a new episode, it would stay up there. They started talking about universal basic income. And while I do think the idea is interesting, I do have more questions about it. However, my resolution would be that unless the cost of living was less expensive for those who aren't affluent, then some sort of help is kind of, I don't know if I'm using this word correctly, humanistically right. It's a humanitarian thing to do. Like I've explained before, it would, depending on your company and what your company has to offer, like for me, it would be, $600 a month for health insurance. That's not including car insurance, car payments, rent, groceries, gas, oil changes, tires, brakes. It's not including medication, so as hard as life is for me, I can't imagine someone with less. They start talking about Bernie, and Lex begins to say how he thinks we already do have a lot of socialists, and then Joe interrupts him. I think what he was going to say is, I think I might have mentioned this before, if you look at the fire department or the police or school systems, they're all, in the military, they're all essentially socialist constructs, because the proletariat, which is the working class, we the working class pay for these services provided by the government. So that's essentially what socialism is, rather than having, like a privatized military or privatized, if Bill Gates owned the fire department. So Joe was talking about a Tesla update that he paid $4,000 for, and he didn't even know what it was. I mean, good God, that'd be nice. I'm not one that's really very envious of money, but I don't know, man. $4,000 for an update? I've never even heard of having to pay for an update for anything, but I think what Lex was saying was that it's an auto driving update, sort of. So I guess that's kind of cool when it kind of does turn into a new car. Lex was saying that he's working at talking, but when someone says something, a million different tangents will go off in his brain. And I think that's kind of how I think too. I can relate to that. I really did pick up on that. I overanalyze things all the time, and my coworker could vouch for that. If they say, hand me that, or do this, there's a million different things come to my mind as to what it could be. So be specific. Use your vocabulary. They were talking about colonizing Mars. Would you guys want to go to Mars? Would you be down? Like, if you can never come back? And at what age would you be comfortable at leaving with? What do you think you would do? What would you bring with you? Send me an email. Rogan and Runescape at gmail.com. I tell you, I would probably want to leave at the end of my life. So, like, whenever that would be, but hopefully, I guess, later. Not too much. See, when I say hopefully, I don't want to live till be 90 or 80, because I feel like life is going to be difficult at that age. Like, everything's falling apart. You're more ugly. You're more weak. You're more in the way. More deaf. More saggy. More brittle. More sick. So I don't want to live to be 90 or 80. But anyways, towards the end of my life, what would I bring with me? Probably a Netflix account, and I probably would have to start doing some sort of new drug or something, like, whatever was available or legal, I guess, in 2000, whatever, 80, 2070, 2050, whatever time it would be. Jesus, we're already in 2020 right now. Yeah, I probably would just chill out, man. I would also like a pool or a hot tub with a Netflix account, and just like Netflix and chill, bro. It'd be cool to have cats too. If I could have a couple cats in a butterfly garden, oh my God. Yes. Can butterflies live in space? What would that look like? Or would their wings break because of the force? Oh my God. Great idea. What do butterflies look like in space? Oh my God. So yeah, speaking of space, did we go or did we not? Rogan and Runescape at gmail.com. Or RAR Podcast on Twitter. Or Rogan and Runescape at Instagram and YouTube and Spotify. Did we freaking go to space or not, guys? I mean, because I don't think it's far-fetched, but there are a lot of, like, holes in the plot. Like, you know, it was a space race. We haven't gone back other than that one time. There hasn't been a human on the moon. Supposedly there's been drones, but, so why not? Oh, it costs money. Really? It costs money and nothing that we do else costs money? The wars, everything that we do. So you're saying we can't put just a second person on the moon? What about who filmed it when they were landing? Weren't all of them in the spaceship as they were landing? I don't know. It doesn't interest me as much. I prefer, more historical and government agency conspiracies, I guess you could say. More, this is one, I guess, technically NASA. But, I don't know. So Lex was talking about how he was joking about flat Earth and like people were like going crazy at him. Then they bring up like this, he brings up this MIT free classroom thing, which is really cool. I like to watch one of the, I can't remember the college right now, the college name, but it's a lecture on human sexuality and just psychology, talks on YouTube. I really do enjoy those. And that's a beautiful thing that is happening. We need more things like that. And there should be some sort of like class that you could take where you could watch these free videos, test, maybe come in person and test somewhere like at your local, community college. Take a test for a certificate. Like, for example, you should be able to watch videos on electrical or like cybersecurity. And, as long as you can come to this place, they know that you're not cheating or whatever, maybe take some tests or whatever, improve yourself. That's how education should be, man. It should be free. Knowledge is power. So they were talking about the Native Americans and how Joe's been watching a lot of these documentaries recently. And I kind of want to, not documentaries. He's been listening to these audiobooks. I could try Audible, but I would like to find a video, like a documentary and watch some of this stuff. Because I think also Bert has been talking about it. So I'd like to know, some stuff about it so I know what I'm talking about. It's also kind of funny. They were talking about cauliflower. Lex was talking about how people tend to not like cauliflower. I don't know why this was so funny to me, but it was freaking hilarious. Just the way, I think what was funny is just how Joe's reaction, how much of a laugh he got out of Lex saying like, oh yeah, people don't like cauliflower. And then Joe brought up the buffalo sauce. We're taking cauliflower. Did he say frying it? I don't know. But taking cauliflower and dipping in buffalo sauce, I can imagine that's pretty good. Joey Diaz, please don't kill me. I'm not a blue cheese guy. I am a ranch guy. I'm sorry. Blue cheese smells disgusting, tastes disgusting. Ranch, what is a ranch? But at least it tastes good, in wings. Jeez. Speaking of tasting good, these Girl Scout cookies they're talking about, Joe was talking about the Samoas. Samoas are pretty banger, but the tagalongs are missile. I love the peanut butter tagalongs. God damn. This shit slaps. Thin Mints, yeah, how do I, a 26-year-old, get Girl Scout cookies without seeming like a sketchball? Like either waiting for them to come to my door or going to where they are. Like, hey, just want your cookies. I don't know. Can I just order it online? Do I have to interact with a 7-year-old to 11-year-old girl? Jesus. I'm not allowed anyways. I'm just kidding. What is that movie, Hangover? I'm not allowed. It's like we're not allowed within 1,000 feet of a Chuck E. Cheese. God, that was a great movie. Remember The Hangover 1? Whoa, dude. So Lex is Russian, man. Soyuz Nerashimik, Republic Svedonyik. Did I say that correct? I don't know. Izvinite. Excuse me. I'm sorry. We'll say that for another Russian language episode. Fuck. But yeah, dude, what the hell, dude? So he's Russian, and for real, I was thinking about